Somewhere deep within the folds of the earth lies a barrier that holds back chaos, a wall built by a righteous king, holding behind two ancient tribes so fearsome that their very mention would strike terror into the hearts of nations. These are not fairy tales. These are prophecies. The Quran speaks of them. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, warned us about them. When the time is right, this wall will crumble, and the world will never be the same. This is not just a story. It is a reality waiting to unfold. This is the untold truth about Gog and Magog, Yajuj and Majuj. Chapter 1. Born from Ancient Chaos. To understand the terrifying reality of Yajuj and Majuj, we must go back to the origins of humanity. These beings are said to be descendants of Adam, yet their behavior is far removed from humanity as we know it. In various narrations, they are described as numerous beyond imagination, fast and destructive like locusts, and devoid of mercy or order. They are not like the jinn, for they are flesh and blood. They are not animals, for they possess intelligence, but their hearts are void of compassion. Their eyes reflect only hunger and conquest. They know not religion, ethics, or restraint. They multiply rapidly and swarm lands like wildfire, consuming all that lies before them: farmlands, rivers, civilizations. They existed in the early ages, creating havoc and misery for entire populations. Their reputation for brutality became legend among the ancient tribes. No kingdom could resist their fury. It was not until the intervention of a mighty ruler that their chaos was sealed. Chapter 2. A cry for help from a lost people. In Surah Al-Kahf, Allah tells us the story of Dhul Qarnayn, a just and righteous king whom many scholars regard as a chosen servant of Allah. He traveled to the far ends of the earth, spreading truth and justice wherever he went. On one of these epic journeys, he arrived at a remote region nestled between two mountain ranges. There, he found people who spoke in a strange tongue and lived in constant fear. They approached Dhul Qarnayn and said, "Indeed, Gog and Magog are corrupting the earth. Can we offer you tribute so that you may build a barrier between us and them?" These people were not warriors. They were farmers, shepherds, ordinary folk. They had suffered long enough. They had watched their homes burned, their crops eaten, their families torn apart. Every generation lived in terror. But now, with the arrival of Dhul Qarnayn, hope had returned. Yet he refused their gold and wealth. His response was powerful. "What my Lord has established for me is better." He was not a king of greed. He was a servant of Allah. Chapter 3. The unbreakable wall between worlds. Dhul Qarnayn surveyed the land and began to strategize. Using molten copper and heavy iron blocks, he initiated the construction of one of the greatest engineering feats in human history. With the help of the local people, they filled the gap between the mountains with massive layers of iron, heating them, hammering them, and sealing them until they became as solid as steel. The Quran says, so they could neither scale it nor dig through it. Yajuj and Majuj, despite their ferocity, were trapped. The people rejoiced. Peace returned. The crops grew again. Life began to flourish once more. But Dhul Qarnayn gave a dire warning. "This is a mercy from my Lord. But when the promise of my Lord comes to pass, he will level it to the ground." This was not a permanent solution. It was a temporary mercy, a ticking clock wrapped in iron. And only Allah knows when it will end. Chapter 4. Centuries of digging in darkness. Though confined behind the wall, Yajuj and Majuj did not forget the world outside. Every day, they dig with relentless determination. Like beasts possessed, they claw and chip away at the wall. And every night, the earth swallows their progress. They are tireless. They are driven by an instinct to break free. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Every day, they dig at the barrier until they can almost see through. Then the leader among them says, 'Go back, we will continue tomorrow.' But they never say, 'Inshallah.' So Allah restores the wall as solid as it was. But the time will come when their leader finally says, 'Inshallah,' by the will of Allah. And when they return, the barrier will be open. That day will mark one of the greatest catastrophes in human history. They will descend like a flood, spreading terror with no mercy, crushing everything in their path. No human army, no government, no technology will be able to stop them. Chapter 5. The hour draws near. After the emergence of Dajjal and the descent of Prophet Isa, peace be upon him, there will be a brief period of stability. Peace will once again grace the earth, but it will be short-lived. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, Allah will reveal to Isa that I have brought forth servants of mine, whom no one can fight. Take my servants and retreat to the mountain. Yajuj and Majuj will emerge in staggering numbers. When they pass by Lake Tiberias, they will drink it dry. The last of them will say, there was once water here. They will devastate the earth. No fortress will contain them. No army will defeat them. The believers will be forced to flee to the mountains. The world will be plunged into a state of anarchy, the likes of which has never been seen before. Chapter 6. The Divine Wrath Unleashed. When all hope seems lost, Prophet Isa and his followers will turn to Allah with desperate prayers. And then Allah will intervene in a way that no one could predict. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, Allah will send a worm into their necks, and they will die as one person dies. In one single night, the earth will be rid of them. Their massive bodies will litter the ground, and the world will be still. But the stench of their corpses will choke the air. Again, Prophet Isa will pray, and Allah will send birds with long necks to lift the bodies and throw them into the sea. Then a blessed rain will descend, cleansing the earth, washing away every last trace of their devastation. The earth will breathe again, but humanity will never forget. Chapter 7. The deeper message behind the prophecy. What is the real message behind the terrifying prophecy of Yajuj and Majuj? Is it just about destruction, or is there something more? This story teaches us about the nature of unchecked corruption, greed, and godlessness. It reminds us that no wall, no matter how strong, can protect us when Allah's command is given. It warns us that even the most secure societies can fall if they turn away from divine guidance. In today's world, where we see moral decay, war, arrogance, and injustice, we must ask, are we seeing the shadows of Yajuj and Majuj already? Not their physical emergence, but their ideology? The story is not just about a future event. It is a reflection of what happens when humanity abandons Allah. What can we do as believers in the face of such terrifying truths? The answer is simple. Prepare your soul. Read and reflect on Surah Al-Kahf every Friday. It is a light in the darkness. Make sincere dua. Perform your salah. Educate your family. Instill in your children the values of Islam, the signs of the end times, and the importance of staying steadfast in faith. The wall may still stand, but every sign the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, mentioned is unfolding before our eyes. We are not powerless, but we must not be heedless. Let Yajuj and Majuj remind us, the day of judgment is near. The time to return to Allah is now. If this story shook your heart, don't keep it hidden. Like this video to help it reach others. Comment below with your reflections or questions. We're building a community of believers who prepare together. And most importantly, subscribe to this channel, because these are not just stories, they are revelations. They are warnings. They are guidance. Join us as we journey through more signs, more stories, and more truth. Together, let's prepare for what lies beyond the barrier.